pre-recorded, and ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be diving into what I call essentially 0 hour. There are a lot of problems in the world today, and the only way to solve them is to do something about it. Now, there are lots of us on this beautiful, shimmering blue planet of Azure, and as we dive into the future, it is unknown what happens. One of the reasons why I think this is such a great idea is because there are a lot of problems, and there are many ways to solve them. As we move through what some are calling the sixth mass extinction of plants and animals worldwide, this sixth wave over the past half billion years that we're currently experiencing is the worst spare of species die-off that we've seen since the dinosaurs. And although extinction is a very natural phenomenon, it occurs normally at a background rate of about 1 in 5 species per year. Scientists now estimate that we are currently losing 1,000 to 10,000 times that of the background rate of normal extinction, with literally dozens going extinct every day. This could then very well signal a very scary future indeed, with as many as 30 to 50% of all species heading towards possible extinction in the mid-century. Unlike previous mass extinctions though, caused by events like asteroids, meteors, volcanic eruptions, or the natural climate shifts, the current crisis is almost intimately connected to us, humans. And as a matter of fact, 99% of these currently threatened species are at risk simply due to just that, human activity. Primarily those that are driving habitat loss in the introduction of exotic species, the change of the world's deforestation process, and because of the rate of the change in not only our general biosphere, but those of the animals, we are hitting this complex ecological web with numbers of extinctions that are likely to snowball into the coming decades and ecosystems. This is a very thin thread that we do not want to see unravel, as we ourselves happen to be huge fans of animals that live on this planet, and it's one of the reasons why we moved in the jungle. So species diversity actually ensures the ecosystem resilience, and they are necessitated one upon the other. The idea behind this is something like the plankton in the ocean that feeds many of the fish, as well as the big whales, are starting to die off. We've seen bees go out in massive extinction levels as well. In the past 500 years alone, we know of approximately 1,000 species that have gone extinct, from the woodland bison of West Virginia and the Merriam's elk to the Rocky Mountain grasshoppers, passenger pigeons of Puerto Rico, and the Culebra parrot. This does not account for the thousands of species that have disappeared before scientists had a chance to even find them. Nobody really knows how many species are in danger of becoming extinct, and these are some of just the highlighting reasons why impact marketing and impact media, we believe, can be so valuable. So let's dive in and take a look at some of the problems that exist in the nonprofit space. So in the traditional nonprofit and the non-governmental section, one of the problems that I've found that I think we can provide a solution for is the fact that these companies, being non-for-profit, end up losing a lot of good talent. Now, a lot of us, although we choose to do things out of the goodness of our heart, we all need income to make sure that there is food on the table for our families. This is probably one of the biggest discerning factors that I've noticed in the space, and it's one of the reasons why I started to do this on YouTube. I think that the collaboration between the community here can be extremely effective. Our goal is to provide a medium for the nonprofits that tell their story. It's one of my favorite things to do, and it also allows us to remain a profitable company. The way we think about charity is dead. Dan Pilatus said it best.
So in the for-profit sector, the more value you produce, the more money you can make. But we don't like nonprofits to use money to incentivize people to produce more in social service. We have a visceral reaction to the idea that anyone would make very much money helping other people. Interesting that we don't have a visceral reaction to the notion that people would make a lot of money not helping other people. You know, you want to make $50 million selling violent video games to kids, go for it. We'll put you on the cover of Wired magazine. But you want to make $500,000 trying to cure kids of malaria, and you're considered a parasite yourself. And we think of this as our system of ethics, but what we don't realize is that this system has a powerful side effect, which is it gives a really stark mutually exclusive choice between doing very well for yourself and your family or doing good for the world to the brightest minds coming out of our best universities and sends tens of thousands of people who could make a huge difference in the nonprofit sector, marching every year directly into the for-profit sector because they're not willing to make that kind of lifelong economic sacrifice. Business Week did a survey, looked at the compensation packages for MBAs 10 years out of business school. And the median compensation for a Stanford MBA with bonus at the age of 38 was $400,000. Meanwhile, for the same year, the average salary for the CEO of a $5 million plus medical charity in the US was $232,000, and for a hunger charity, $84,000. Now, there's no way you're going to get a lot of people with $400,000 talent to make a $316,000 sacrifice every year to become the CEO of a hunger charity. Some people say, well, that's just because those MBA types are greedy. Not necessarily. They might be smart. It's cheaper for that person to donate $100,000 every year to the hunger charity, save $50,000 on their taxes, so still be roughly $270,000 a year ahead of the game. Now be called a philanthropist because they donated $100,000 to charity, probably sit on the board of the hunger charity, indeed probably supervise the poor SOB who decided to become the CEO of the hunger charity, and have a lifetime of this kind of power and influence and popular praise still ahead of them.
We need to find a way to scale these companies, otherwise they can just not compete at the global scale. They're constantly having to do fundraisers every year, consistently trying to build and share their message. This new structure of impact media actually has a built-in for-profit section that allows us to scale and not be beholden to donations. We can in fact target particular and niche market and media companies while providing a very adventurous and a rather kind of exuberant outlook on the way we can make a difference in the world. The internet has allowed us this great new opportunity, and it's time we take advantage of it. The world that we currently live in is changing very, very rapidly. There are almost 4.3 billion people on the planet that currently do not have access to internet and fresh water. This will allow us to create the change needed to bring the rest of the world online. Increasing our intellectual capital at this point can do wonders for everyone because there are geniuses that are sitting out in the jungle right now that can make a difference that currently don't have access to the tools or the necessary attention to help. This is why we have gone through such great lengths with the Arcane Bear and will continue to do so to put everything on the line to try to make a difference. These are the last moments and what we call 0 hour. If we simply sit and do nothing, the future for our children is not a very beautiful place. And this brings us to the solution. The resolution of these problems is found in each of us. Arcane Bear and its partner companies, Energy.World, this particular month, are going to do our best every month to raise awareness about the situations that are going on. It's not easy. Pivoting from the blockchain space to consistently provide content and media that raises awareness and attention to ideas that are not always easy to digest is probably the most difficult part. So this for us is a massive learning process. It's the reason we are on the phone with KLM, and it's the reason why we will be continuing to call companies to learn how we can pivot this once nonprofit space into a scalable, buildable idea. I am deeply grateful for all the support that we get as well, Arcane Bear family. This momentum, this drive of purpose, this drive of responsibility to not only myself but to the future generations is probably the most fulfilling and rewarding thing I have ever done. I'm going to consistently be updating and building on this particular niche while staying updated in the cryptocurrency space. If you wish to help, if you have any experience in the nonprofit, non-government sectors, if you have work done in the charitable space, please feel free to send me an email or give me a call. You can message me at tijo@arcanebear, that's TIJO@arcanebear.com. And let's start this conversation. Let's see how building awareness and doing strategic things to remain a profitable media company can help us adapt and move forward in the ever competitive global marketplace. This has been another beautiful episode as I myself try to learn the experience and the expression of the story arc. So thank you all for joining us today. If you like this content, this is our new Creators for Change parts and series. We will be doing this once, maybe twice a month, depending on how well and how quickly we can oil the gears in this beautiful machine and get it running and ripping around the racetrack. Your support is ever than before necessary. Shares, likes, comments, they all help push us up the YouTube algorithm. So please do remember to like, subscribe, and share this content as we are aiming our entire hearts, bodies, minds, and souls at making a difference in the world. It is by far not easy. It is not as easy as you would hope it would be. As a matter of fact, some days it does not feel all that rewarding, but I do know that the waves that we are creating now will make a difference for tomorrow.